it's really about power, and it has nothing to do with religion, but they use religion as a tool, is how it's working. And then that's why we get Democrats who end up voting with them on certain issues, because they'll say things like, well, I had to vote for that bill because if I didn't, it would make me seem anti-religious or anti-Christian. And it's like, well, you know what? That's not what the bill does. You've just bought into the narrative that the other side is using to gain power. And now you're using that as a way to get your own power. And that's not okay with me. That's not how government should be run. And we should have a government for the people. And we have a lot of friends down there. I don't want you to get the wrong impression. We have a lot of friends, and I'll do everything I can to keep those people in office. But we also have people who really don't like us. They really don't like us. I can give you an example. There's a bill I'm working on right now. It's very simple. It's a bill that allows clergy to visit people in the hospital when they're in the hospital for religious purposes, whatever that means. So let me ask you a question. What does clergy mean?
Well, that's an interesting question. Because what does church mean?
Right. Well, this bill specifically says clergy can visit. It doesn't define clergy. It doesn't define. So I looked up clergy in statute. I was like, what is this ever defined? Is clergy defined in statute? The answer is no. It's not defined in statute. It's mentioned 9 different times, and now with the addition of this bill, there'll be a 10th one. And the question is, why are they inserting this word into our statute 10 times? It's because they're providing them with exceptions. And clergy means, in Britannica, if you look it up, it's a Christian priest. There is no other group that uses the term clergy to describe their spiritual leaders. And so if you are part of the Satanic Temple and you are in the hospital and you want your spiritual leader to come and visit you, right, to give you whatever comfort it is that you need at the end of your life or before a surgery or whatever, the hospital can say no because the statute only requires them to make accommodations for clergy. So it's a privilege bill. It's a privilege bill. And I've got lots of Democrats voting for it because they just don't see it as a problem, because they can't seem to understand that that's privilege. Myself as an atheist, I don't
That's
subscribe to
basically
clergy.
allowing whoever is at the front desk at the hospital to determine who is and who isn't. Like who makes that decision on what is and isn't clergy. It seems to me in that context, it would come down to just kind of the hospital administrator.
Yeah, the hospitals are going to have to come up with their policies. And, if they make the policy inclusive, good on them. But do you think that, say, Dignity Health, a large hospital system of Catholic hospitals, even of, you ever heard of Chandler Regional Medical Center?
Yep.
Did you know that's a Catholic hospital?
I had no idea. I know it's something like, I remember the number is something like 4 out of every 10 beds in the country.
Yeah. They have names like Chandler Regional, which make you think it's, a secular hospital. But no, they're owned by Dignity Health, which is a Catholic. It's a Catholic network. So do you think that Dignity Health is going to allow a satanic priest to come into their hospital to give last rites and I apologize, I don't know what the rituals are named or called. I'm not a part of the church, but let's just put that for example. Do you think that Dignity Health will include that in their description of who's allowed to come to their hospital for last rites when others maybe aren't allowed to come?